You know that feeling when you're in the middle of a conversation and suddenly the word you wanted to say just vanishes from your mind. You know it. It's right there on the tip of your tongue, but it just won't come out. Or when you walk into a room in your house and completely forget why you went in there. You stop, look around, trying to remember, and nothing. That person's name you've known for years, that important appointment you made and forgot, the password you created last week and can't recall anymore. Each of these episodes brings that tightness in your chest, that silent fear that your mind is slowly abandoning you. You've tried those memory games on your phone. You've jotted everything down in notebooks. You've tried doing crossword puzzles, but nothing really changes. The truth no one tells you is that your memory isn't lost, it's just sleeping, and there are scientific, proven ways to wake it up again. If you've made it this far, it's because you're tired of living with this constant fear of forgetting things. And I totally get it. That's why I created this channel to bring you real, science-based solutions you can apply today. Every week, I bring you practical content on brain and cognitive health with protocols that actually work to restore your memory and your mental confidence. If you want to be part of this community of people reclaiming their mental clarity and quality of life, subscribe to the channel now. You deserve access to information that truly makes a difference in your cognition. Let's go on this brain recovery journey together. After 30 years of seeing patients with memory complaints, I can guarantee you one thing. 9 out of 10 people who come to me thinking they're developing dementia or Alzheimer's actually just need to reactivate dormant neural circuits. The latest neurological research shows something revolutionary. Your brain can create new connections at any age, something scientists call neuroplasticity. Today, I'm going to show you a complete ranking of the 8 most powerful strategies to recover your memory, from the least effective to the most transformative. And I'll give you a heads up. Number 1 can bring noticeable results in just 72 hours, something that completely contradicts what most doctors still believe about brain aging. What's happening inside your brain when you forget things isn't a neurological death sentence. In most cases, it's a reversible process. Studies show that after age 40, the production of a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine can drop by up to 60%. And it's precisely this substance that allows communication between the neurons responsible for memory. At the same time, blood circulation in the hippocampus, that region of the brain that forms new memories, can decrease by up to 40% over the years. But here's what most neurologists don't adequately explain to patients. These drops aren't inevitable or irreversible. More than 4 clinical studies in the last 20 years prove that it's possible to restore both acetylcholine production and cerebral blood flow using specific natural strategies. The problem is that the conventional approach focuses only on accepting the decline or jumping straight to heavy medications that have serious side effects. What I'm going to show you today are alternatives based on cutting-edge neuroscience that tackle the root of the problem, not just the symptoms. Let's get to the complete ranking, starting with the less effective options and moving to the most powerful strategy. Number 8. Crossword puzzles and memory games. Pretty much everyone who complains about weak memory has tried this. They've downloaded some brain training app or started doing crosswords every day. The idea is good because these games do activate some brain areas. A study published in the Journal of Cognitive Enhancement showed that people who regularly engage in this type of activity improve by 18% in those specific games. The problem is that this improvement is specific to that type of task. It doesn't transfer to your day-to-day memory. Neurologically speaking, these exercises work on working memory, which is different from long-term memory that you use to remember names, faces, and appointments. The cost benefit is decent because most of these apps are free, but you'll spend 30 minutes a day for very limited results. If you enjoy doing them, keep it up, but don't expect this alone to solve your memory lapses. For all these reasons, this strategy gets a 3 out of 10. It helps minimally, but is far from being the solution. Number 7. Ginkgo biloba supplementation. This is probably the most famous supplement when it comes to memory. You can find it in any drugstore, and many people take it thinking they're protecting their brain. Ginkgo does increase cerebral blood flow. A German study with over 2,000 participants showed a 23% improvement in blood flow to the hippocampus after 12 weeks of use. Its mechanism of action involves dilating blood vessels and reducing blood viscosity, which theoretically should improve neuronal oxygenation. The big problem is that the results in memory tests are inconsistent. Some people report mild improvement, others feel absolutely nothing. Furthermore, ginkgo can interact with anticoagulants and cause bleeding, so it's not as harmless as it seems. The monthly cost is around $15–20 for an effective dose of 240 milligrams per day. If you're going to use it, always take it with a meal containing fat because it improves absorption. And be patient because the effects, if they appear, take at least 8 weeks. This option gets a 4 out of 10. It has some scientific basis, but the results are too unpredictable. Number 6. Moderate aerobic exercise. Walking, swimming, cycling, any activity that gets your heart rate up sustainably has a direct impact on brain health. Research from Columbia University showed that 40 minutes of aerobic exercise, 4 times a week, increases hippocampal volume by 2% after a year, reversing approximately 2 years of natural aging in this structure. Exercise stimulates the production of BDNF, a protein that acts like fertilizer for neurons, promoting the growth of new connections. The downside is that many people over 60 have physical limitations that make it difficult to maintain this frequency and intensity, such as joint problems, lack of conditioning, or heart issues. Furthermore, the cognitive benefits only appear if you maintain consistency. Stop for a few weeks, and you lose a good portion of the gains. It costs nothing if you walk in the park, but it can involve expenses for a gym or pool if you prefer controlled environments. The practical tip here is to start slow. Even 15 minutes a day brings some benefit, and gradually increase. This strategy gets a 5 out of 10. It works, yes, but it requires constant discipline and has physical barriers for many people. Before I show you the top 3 options, I want to take a moment here and ask you a very direct question. What type of forgetfulness scares you the most in your daily life? Is it forgetting the names of people you know well? Is it losing your train of thought mid-conversation? Or is it forgetting where you put important items like your keys and phone? I know you've gone through this alone for a long time, feeling that silent embarrassment every time you have to ask someone to repeat something you should already know. Leave a comment below telling me which type of forgetfulness bothers you the most. You can write it like this. The worst for me is forgetting names. When you share this, you're helping thousands of people who read the comments and finally feel understood, realizing they're not alone in this daily struggle against memory lapses. You are not alone. Now, let's continue with the truly powerful strategies. Number 5. High-concentration omega-3 supplementation. I'm not talking about those cheap drugstore capsules with 300 milligrams. I'm talking about concentrated supplements with at least 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA. The brain is composed of 60% fat, and DHA specifically forms neuron membranes, allowing electrical impulses to travel faster. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 800 people for 3 years and found 26% less cognitive decline in the group taking high doses of omega-3. The problem is that most people take insufficient doses or poor quality products that have already oxidized, losing their effectiveness. Another important point is that it takes time. You need at least 3 months of consistent use to start noticing a difference in memory. The cost of a truly good omega-3 is between $25 and $40 per month. The golden tip is to always store it in the refrigerator to prevent oxidation and take it with a fatty meal. If you have a tendency to bleed or take anticoagulants, you need to talk to your doctor first. This option deserves a 6 out of 10. It works well but requires financial investment and patience to see results. Number 4. Intermittent fasting with a 16-hour window. It might sound strange at first, but going without food for controlled periods is one of the most powerful ways to stimulate neuronal autophagy, which is the clearing of defective proteins within neurons. Research from the U.S. National Institute on Aging has shown that intermittent fasting increases BDNF production by up to 400%, much more than exercise alone can. The mechanism works like this. When you go without glucose for a few hours, the brain is forced to use ketones for fuel, and these ketones have a powerful neuroprotective and anti-inflammatory effect. People who practice intermittent fasting regularly report more mental clarity, better focus, and less brain fog. The challenge here is that many people feel intense hunger at first, may experience headaches in the initial days, and individuals with a history of eating disorders or diabetes need medical supervision. It costs nothing financially, but it requires lifestyle adaptation. The easiest way to start is to skip breakfast and have your first meal at noon, finishing your eating by 8 p.m. This strategy gets a 7 out of 10. Very effective, but it has an adaptation curve that some people can't overcome. Number 3. 15 to 20 minutes of morning sun exposure. It sounds too simple to be true, but direct sunlight on your eyes in the morning regulates your circadian rhythm, which in turn controls melatonin production at night and cortical arousal during the day. A study from Northwestern University demonstrated that people exposed to bright natural light in the morning had 31% better performance on working memory tests compared to those who stayed in artificially lit environments. Sunlight also stimulates vitamin D production, and low vitamin D levels are strongly correlated with cognitive decline. Over 60% of seniors with memory complaints have a deficiency in this vitamin. The only real problem is that it depends on the weather and the discipline to go out every day, even on cloudy or cold days. It costs nothing, but you need to be consistent. Doing it only occasionally doesn't bring the same benefits. The important tip is that it has to be direct light. Looking through a window doesn't work because the glass blocks the necessary wavelengths. If you wear sunglasses, take them off for these 15 minutes. Contraindications are only for those with retinal problems or taking photosensitizing medications. Because it's so simple, accessible, and effective, this strategy deserves an 8 out of 10. Number 2. Supplementation with acetylcholine at a therapeutic dose. This is one of the most studied substances in neurology for cognitive improvement. Acetylcholine is a direct precursor to acetylcholine, that essential neurotransmitter for memory I mentioned at the start. Unlike other supplements with indirect effects, acetylcholine actually increases acetylcholine levels in the brain measurably. A Japanese study with 200 participants showed that 500 milligrams of acetylcholine per day improved verbal memory by 34% and processing speed by 28% after just 12 weeks. Additionally, acetylcholine also improves cerebral blood flow and protects neuronal membranes. Patients describe a feeling of a clearer mind, as if a fog had been lifted. The downside is the cost. A quality supplement with 500 milligrams costs between $30 and $40 monthly. Some people also report insomnia if they take it too late in the day, so it's best to take it in the morning or by midday at the latest. The proven effective dose is 500 to 1, 0 milligrams daily. Side effects are rare but can include mild headaches in the first few days and slight agitation. There are no serious known contraindications. This option gets a 9 out of 10, extremely effective, but the price can be a limiting factor for continuous use. And now we arrive at strategy number 1, the most powerful of all for recovering your memory, and I can guarantee it will surprise you. Number 1. Combined supplementation of choline bitartrate with phosphatidylserine. This combination creates a neurological synergy that no isolated substance can achieve. Choline provides the raw material to produce acetylcholine, while phosphatidylserine rebuilds neuron membranes that have deteriorated over time. An Italian study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychopharmacology followed 500 people over 55 with memory complaints. The group, using this specific combination, saw a 47% improvement in episodic memory tests, 52% improvement in word recall, and 38% improvement in cognitive processing speed after 16 weeks. Most impressively, 73% of participants reported noticing a difference within the first 72 hours, describing a feeling of a faster, more alert mind. Neurologically, what happens is fascinating. Choline crosses the blood-brain barrier rapidly and is converted into acetylcholine within hours. You literally feel your mind is sharper the same day. Phosphatidylserine works more gradually. It incorporates into neuronal membranes over weeks, restoring the fluidity and efficiency of communication between brain cells. Together, these substances create an ideal neurological environment for memory formation and retrieval. People describe being able to remember names more easily, finding the right words faster, keeping up with complex conversations without losing track, and remembering where they put things. It's like someone turned on the light in a dark room. The results timeline works like this. Within the first 72 hours, you'll notice more mental clarity and focus. That's the immediate effect of choline increasing acetylcholine. In the first week, word and name recall speed improves. Between 2 and 4 weeks, short-term memory gets noticeably better. You stop forgetting why you walked into a room. From 6 to 12 weeks, long-term memory strengthens. You start remembering details of past events more vividly. After 16 weeks, the benefits are consolidated, and you will have recovered a good portion of the cognitive function you had lost. The usage instructions are specific. Take 500 milligrams of choline bitartrate along with 300 milligrams of phosphatidylserine, always in the morning with breakfast. The fat from the meal significantly improves the absorption of both. Do not take it at night because choline can make you too alert and interfere with sleep. You'll find these supplements in specialized stores or online. The monthly cost is around $40 to $50 for quality therapeutic doses. It might seem expensive, but compare it to prescription memory medications that cost double and have serious side effects like nausea and liver problems. A noticeable but completely harmless side effect is that some people notice more vivid and memorable dreams. This happens because the extra acetylcholine intensifies the REM stage of sleep. If this bothers you, reduce the choline dose to 250 milligrams. Some people also report mild headaches on the first or second day, a sign that the brain is adjusting to the increase in neurotransmitters. This passes quickly. Contraindications are few. People with bipolar disorder should avoid high doses of choline as it can destabilize mood. Pregnant and breastfeeding women should consult a doctor first. Other than that, it's safe for long-term use. This combination deserves a 10 out of 10. It's the most effective strategy, with the best cost-benefit and the quickest, most noticeable results. Now, I'll give you the complete implementation protocol so you can start today. First, begin with strategy number 1, the choline and phosphatidylserine combination. Take it in the morning with breakfast. Second, add 15 minutes of sun exposure right after waking up, before 9 a.m. if possible. Third, if you can invest a little more, add good quality omega-3, 2 milligrams per day with lunch. Fourth, incorporate 30-minute walks at least 3 times a week. Fifth, consider trying 16-hour intermittent fasting, but start slowly, perhaps 12 hours first. If you follow this complete protocol, the realistic timeline for results is as follows. First 3 days, more mental clarity and focus. First week, improved recall speed. First month, short-term memory visibly better. 3 months, long-term memory strengthened and gains consolidated. The total monthly cost of this protocol ranges from $40 to $80, depending on which elements you include. Compare this to private consultations with specialized neurologists who charge $160 to $240 just for the consultation, not including the expensive tests and medications they usually prescribe. Now, Let me show you the critical mistakes you absolutely need to avoid. Mistake number 1. Taking supplements at night thinking it will improve your sleep. Don't do this with choline or citicoline. You'll end up too alert and won't be able to sleep. Always take them in the morning or by noon at the latest. Mistake number 2. Combining multiple memory supplements without guidance. Thinking more is better. You could create neurotransmitter imbalances and experience anxiety or agitation. Start with 1 or 2 strategies and only add more after a few weeks. Mistake number 3. Expecting results in 2 or 3 days and giving up when you don't see a radical immediate change. Neuroplasticity takes time. You need to give it at least 4 weeks of consistent use before judging if it works. Mistake number 4. Continuing to consume large amounts of sugar and ultra-processed foods while trying to improve your memory. These foods cause brain inflammation that negates a good portion of the supplement's benefits. Mistake number 5. Stopping or reducing prescribed medications on your own, thinking supplements will replace them. Never do this without talking to your doctor, especially if you're on medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or blood thinners. Look, your brain is designed to function well your whole life. It wants to recover, it wants to create new connections, it wants to process information quickly. Cognitive decline isn't an inevitable sentence of aging. It's a consequence of an unfavorable neurological environment that can and should be corrected. Think about the generations before us. Without all this information overload, chronic stress, processed foods, and pollution. They reached their 80s and 90s with sharp minds and memories. What changed wasn't human genetics. It was the environment we live in. But the good news is you have complete power to change that environment, starting from the inside out. I challenge you to follow this protocol for 30 full days without skipping a single day. Document your progress. Jot down in a notebook what your biggest memory issues were today, and then note the weekly changes. Take a photo of your face today and another one in 30 days. You'll see the difference mental clarity makes in your eyes. The science behind everything I've shown you is solid, validated by thousands of studies at universities worldwide, published in the most respected medical journals. It's not an empty promise. It's applied neuroscience. Now, stop procrastinating and start today. Go to a supplement store or a trusted website right now and buy choline with phosphatidylserine. Tomorrow morning, take your first dose and take the first step toward regaining that sharp memory you had a few years ago. You deserve to remember the names of the people you love. You deserve to follow conversations without getting lost. You deserve the confidence of knowing your mind is performing at its maximum potential. If this content was helpful to you, please give it a like down here so more people can find this information. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now's the time, because I'll keep bringing you practical, science-based protocols to recover your health in all areas. Leave a comment below about your experience following this protocol. Your story could be the motivation someone else needs to start. Let's go on this brain recovery journey together,